I'm going to shift gears a little bit now and talk about issues that we're currently facing and future issues, which I think you need to hear about because oftentimes they're not the positive things, they're not the good things. A main issue on this campus and nationwide at every campus I've ever been to or worked at is alcohol. No longer are people just having a beer, going to a party. People are drinking to get drunk, and that's it. It's not a means of socializing, and I'm going to be pretty blunt about this. Students are getting to the point where we probably sent about 50 students to the hospital for alcohol poisoning this year. BAC levels incredibly high, blood alcohol levels incredibly high, dangerous levels of alcohol. The big drink right now is either grain alcohol. They drive to New Jersey because it's illegal to buy in Pennsylvania, so they drive to New Jersey, mix up a punch, and no one really knows how much alcohol they're drinking. Four Loko, you probably saw it on the news a little bit. It was a caffeinated alcoholic drink, equal to about 6 beers and 4 cups of coffee in one 32-ounce drink. One of those will put you in the hospital, and we've seen students drinking that, and actually drinking it as a chaser to a shot of vodka. Okay? That's what we're dealing with on campus nowadays. The other thing I want you to hear is we're realists at Lehigh. We know students are going to drink. Okay? Many of us did it in college when it was illegal. It's illegal for them to do it now, but we're realists. We know they're going to drink. Lehigh's big concern, and the police department's big concern is, okay, if you're going to choose to use alcohol, fine. The police don't go out and arrest 100 people on any Friday night, which they probably could do if they really wanted to. Our goal is to keep students safe if they're choosing to use alcohol. You know, I can't sit here and say we ignore the law, but let me just say, as the Chief Shup has said many times, if you are not drawing attention to yourself, the police are not going to hassle you and stop you. If you're falling down the hill, if a police car goes by and you flip them the bird, yeah, well, guess what? The police are going to stop you, and that's happened several times. But ultimately, our goal is to keep people safe if they're choosing to drink. Okay? One of the pieces we added this past year, which a number of chapters have utilized, is called our medical amnesty policy. If you have somebody at a party, if you have a friend, or if you yourself are heavily intoxicated, and you call to get that person medical attention, we are not going to charge an individual with violating the code of conduct. We are not going to charge a fraternity or sorority with a policy violation either, because we want that person to get help and get medical assistance. And we've had a number of chapters that have had a party, somebody gets a little too drunk, they call for help. Fine, the party's broken up, but we're not going after the chapter for that. What scares us is what we've seen chapters do in the past, where they will just carry a person, load them in a car, and drive them to the hospital themselves. They're putting themselves at incredible risk, and that's not what we want. So yes, alcohol happens on campus. Knock on wood, we've been lucky with nobody dying on this campus. But that's one battle that we fight every single day. It happens off campus as well. It's not just an on-campus issue. Okay, but that's one of the big things. And quite honestly, that's a way that a chapter will eventually get kicked off this campus, is if somebody gets so intoxicated or drunk that they get hurt, something happens to them because of alcohol. The other thing that we work with the students on is the individual culpability. You know, a chapter president is a scary thing because they could be charged. If the DA wanted to go after them, they could be charged as the head of that organization for providing alcohol, and we've seen that happen. Okay? So that's one issue we're dealing with. The other issue is hazing. Hazing has not stopped, it's not gone away, and it's a major issue for us both in the fraternities and the sororities. In the packet that I'll give you later, I've put in an email that a parent sent us about their daughter and the hazing that was going on. That for the 4 months, or even though there's supposed to be 2 months of new member education or 6 weeks, for the months that she was in new member education, she was expected to go to a party every night. She was expected to not study for an exam because she had an event to go to every single night. Alcohol is provided to some chapters and women. We had a chapter go away this year. Delta Tau Delta, their national organization, shut them down because of a hazing investigation and what they found out. Okay? Besides the university not tolerating hazing, national organizations are not going to put their necks on the line anymore, liability-wise. If they see a chapter that is hazing, or if they catch a chapter or have enough information, they're not going to take the chance anymore. It's just not worth the risk. And that's what happened with Delta Tau Delta. We didn't even go through the university hearing process. Delta Tau Delta notified us about 3 days before they were going to have their university hearing that they were shutting the chapter down. Hazing's in a lot of different forms. What we're seeing it more in now, yes, there's still the alcohol consumption. We're not seeing a lot of paddling. We're not seeing things like that. We're seeing a lot of emotional kind of abuse as well. We're seeing students bullied during hazing. We're seeing them being made really belittled, public humiliation a lot. The number of phone calls that we get from parents about what's happening is, I probably get, at least myself, about 20 phone calls every new member, every pledging period, about what's going on in the chapters. They're up there all times, day and night. If they get a phone call, they're expected to be at the house within 3 minutes. Personal servitude is something that's happening a lot. Basically, they're making these students their servants. Just a lot of nonsense, quite honestly, that has no place. It has no place with the national organizations. Number of things we've been trying to do. One thing that we call bystander intervention, trying to train students to stand up for each other, trying to train new members to stand up for each other and not allow this to keep occurring. And that's helped a little bit. We've seen some new members stand up and say, you know what, we're not doing that. There's no purpose for it. It doesn't have any value to it. We worked very hard with the national organizations and alums that actually, with the exception of ritual, which we respect and we want to keep private, all new member plans are made public to the new members when they start. So they know when they have to be at the house, they know how many hours, they know what they're going to need to do. They don't know the ritual piece because that's something special and something different. But our students nowadays, the academic workload is so large, we really need to focus on, let's balance out the time for the students and make sure that they're doing good things. So a couple things, again, new member education, pledging. What we're trying to get the students to get back to is, what are the values of the national organization? What are you about? Can you talk about your creed? Can you talk about what your chapter believes? Because again, for years, our chapters slowly sort of got away from that. And that's where alumni specifically can help. Oftentimes we hear Dave Polikoff, if any of you know Dave, former GAC president, will talk to the undergrad specifically about, if you do something wrong, get your chapter kicked off, you are not just affecting your 4 years, you're affecting the 100 years of alums that have come before you. And that's what we're trying to focus on, that it's more than just that group of guys in there for 4 years. There's hundreds and thousands of alumni that have dear memories of those organizations and dear connections with those chapters that are being affected. So we're trying to really work with students on that as well. Couple highlights that I just wanted to mention. Greek Alumni Council and our relationship now with the Greek alums. If you haven't been tied into the Greek Alumni Council, there's a website on here as well. We meet the Greek Alumni Council meets twice a year, and the university usually works with them to do presentations to alum to talk about new issues and how they can help us as alumni groups. Again, Joe King, who was the second Greek Alumni Council president, was instrumental in the growth of the Greek Alumni Council and the Greek Alumni Council meetings. Additionally, we have what's called the Greek Partnership Council. We meet 6 times a year. The Greek Partnership Council is a core group of Greek alums, a core group of university administrators, and a core group of students that meet 6 times a year to make sure that we're in constant communication as we make decisions about Greek life and where we go with things in the future. So we meet on a regular basis. A couple highlights now. Some of the good things that have come out since we put Strengthening Greek Life in place. Since 2006, in the last 5 years, Lehigh has produced 6 national chapters of the year and 2 most improved chapters of the year. During my entire time, from 97 to 2006, we did not have 1 chapter of the year that I can remember. Maybe 1 or 2, but not a lot. So we've had 8 national awards there. The university was awarded the Association of Fraternity Sorority Advisors 2007 Outstanding Change Initiative Award for the effort that we made to strengthen Greek life. 2 years ago, our Greek advisors received the Outstanding Educational Programming Award for the Greek Emerging Leaders Program. We have a program that works with Greek emerging leaders. We are actually, given our efforts to battle hazing, even though we haven't figured it all out yet, we are hosting this summer the 2011 Novak Hazing Institute. It's a national institute on hazing prevention. And we're hosting them here at Lehigh. We're going to have probably 25 Lehigh staff, students, and hopefully alumni participate in that. We've had 2 of our young professionals in 2009, 2010 receive a new Professional of the Year award from a national organization as well. So again, we've got great people working with our students. We've got great alumni tied in. Additionally, our student organizations, each year they go to the Northeast Greek Leadership Conference, and we pretty much, to put it bluntly, clean house with the awards that our student groups get. I think last year we probably won, out of the 10 major awards, I think our student organizations won about 5 of them. So our students are doing incredible things. Additionally, a couple other stats, and then I'll be quiet and take questions at the end of the presentation. About 42% of our campus population is now Greek. This is the first time since 2000 and 2001 that we've been over 40%. So our Greek population is growing. We've expanded the Greek system 7 times since 2004. So we've brought new chapters to campus 7 times 2004. Most recently, we brought a new sorority to campus, ZTA Zeta Tau Alpha. They had an initial recruitment class of 118 new women joining the organization. A few years ago, we recolonized Pike and Delta Chi as non-residential chapters. They had a combined recruitment class of 130 new men between those 2 chapters, even though they're non-residential still. So people just wanted to be part of the organization. The average chapter size has increased from 40 fraternity members and 79 members in 2004, 40 members for fraternities and 79 for sororities in 2004, to now this past year, each fraternity averages about 56 members, and each sorority averages about 103 members. Okay, so those are some of the numbers. All those things are in here. I'll stop talking now. But again, we are heading in the right direction. I know there's some frustration when chapters go away over years, but with continued work and continued engagement with the alumni, we'll keep getting better at it. And we do want to keep our community growing. That's important to us. It's a key part of Lehigh. Our system is not going anywhere. If anything, I see it growing and continuing to improve. We are now, I think I can honestly say, one of the premier Greek systems in the nation. And people use us as a benchmark, which 10 years ago, if you told me that, I wouldn't have believed you. So,
thank you, Tom.
Sure.
It's